Welcome back to Whiteboard Thursday. I am your host, Robert Newman, the founder of InboundREM, an SEO website development company that focuses on residential real estate. Today, we're going to talk about why your CRM combo, your website CRM combo, isn't generating you leads, or at least not leads that you can close. All right. So most of you, in case that preamble wasn't enough, there are countless websites that fall into the website CRM combo. CR Interactive, KV Core, Inside Real Estate Webmasters, Chime, others I'm not remembering. And they are effectively a website with some kind of CRM, and they all advertise the same way. You drive PPC traffic into this website, we're going to generate you leads, and you'll be able to do some business. More and more, obviously, this is not happening. And today we're going to talk about why that isn't happening. So number one, search sites, it says links, but it should say sites. Search sites are outdated. And what do I mean by outdated? All right, so search sites have gotten to be overpopulated inside the world of real estate. If there are, let's call it 1.2 million licensed real estate agents in the US, fully 600,000 of them have sites like this. That means that in your neighborhood, no matter how rural or where you're at, somebody has a search site, and all these search sites work the same way. You come into the website, you start to do some property searches. Usually there's a search bar very prevalent on the site. Usually it's the very first thing that you see if you're on the home page. And the idea is you do searches, and somewhere in the process, you're asked or forced to register with the site. Well, they're outdated because there's so many of them. It is the Walmart of search experiences. Number two, they're outdated because when people are searching for properties, and just do a gut check right now, how do you search for property information? Because I'll bet you money that most, if not all of you, use portals either partially or almost entirely to do your own searches, to find out information about properties. You don't use your own site. There used to be a time in which filtered sites like Real Estate Webmasters and CR Interactive worked pretty well. That's just so many saved searches for neighborhood-specific areas that there was some kind of functionality that was done on these sites that was useful to the searcher. Those sites are still, in rare cases, like Real Geeks also falls into that category, and Easy Agent Pro also falls into that category. These sites have basically just become outdated. Like, yes, you can find 3 or 4 different experiences, but in order to find those experiences, you have to be driven in using paid advertising. The days in which those types of search sites won a lot of SEO search results are not gone. They're just much rarer than they used to be because SEO has changed a lot. And what people are looking for when they do find a search results page generally is video or other deeper forms of information that most people who own these sites have not actually updated to, which means that people are more and more dissatisfied with the experience when they do find it, so they very quickly bounce off and they don't keep searching for a local search site. What happens is that searchers get tired of trying to find a local site that gives them the information they want, so they just de facto default back into what are called search portals. The search portals are Redfin, Homes.com, Mojo, Trulia, Zillow, all those sites. Number two, forced registration is hated, and I mean not a little bit, it has always been disliked. It is now thoroughly hated. There's reasons for it being hated is follow-up systems are outdated and poorly automated. Okay, that just means that, my God, I don't know for those of you who have registered with one of these sites, but the best that you can hope for is that once you register with the site and you're forced into the registration, then the site really wants you to save the kind of property that you're looking for in order to send you something that looks like customized property updates. Now, the only way that these search sites really work is if the real estate agent bothered to build a relationship with the searcher before they started using what is effectively an outdated tool. Now, if you have a relationship that you've built up with like Instagram or Facebook pages or YouTube channels, things like that, then people will still use these tools. And there are people out there that speak very highly of KV Core, but these people that are speaking highly of these tools are generally people like Ricky Carruth and Kyle Handy and other people that have actually built up a huge reputation with their audience. And so the audience still will use these tools, even though they're outdated. 99% of you watching this video have not done that. I know because I talk to real estate agents every day. You haven't done that. So follow-up systems are outdated and poorly automated. And poorly automated is also really important as part of this conversation, because these days, think about all of you. How many texts do you get that you don't want? How many emails do you get that you don't want? Every now and again, somebody who's really hot in a property search and has a strong relationship with a local real estate agent, they will want properties coming from that specific agent dropped into their inbox. Other than that very rare handful, what you prefer is a non-automated experience. Like when I'm ready to go look for another group of properties, I'll go to Trulia or Zillow and look up what's current right now. And if I really have to sign up for an update, I will sign up for an update using one of these portals. All right, and last but not least, and this is probably one of the biggest parts of this conversation, is that it's pretty rare that salespeople have the toolkit to do what is appropriate with these leads, even if they do get them. And what do I mean by that? Well, for over 20 years of my career, I've worked with homeowners, building lead generation systems that deal with homeowners, security systems, long distance services, the list goes on and on. I've done more cold calling, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of calls to homeowners across the US. That's my background before I got into real estate technology. And I can tell you definitively that when you're calling homeowners or talking to homeowners, generally speaking, you have to build a rapport, relationship. It requires a great, massive toolkit that you need to have that a lot of real estate salespeople simply don't have. If you cannot convert the average person that you're out talking to at the grocery store into a viable prospect, then you probably fall into the category of people don't have the toolkit. That is why the proliferation of portals is so prevalent right now, because most salespeople that are real estate salespeople have the thought that a lead is basically like, if you're paying for something, your expectation is that it's going to be warm when you get it. Warm is somewhere within 90 days of making a listing or buying decision. Somebody that vaguely has interest. Gone, for the most part, are the days in which a salesperson can knock on a door, get a homeowner to come to the door, and then build up from zero, like I'm not even thinking of listing my home, into, well, maybe now is the time to list. That requires a great sales toolkit in order to be able to do that, either by phone or by knocking on a door. A lot of reasons and preparation, basically a really talented salesperson. And by the way, the same thing holds true of a really talented lead generator. If you're going to have somebody do cold calls for you, as an example, they need to be able to take people that are on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 1, and build them into a 3 in order to transfer the lead to you, the actual salesperson, so you get a 3. And a 3 is somebody that may or may not be ready to list right now, but they're willing to hear your case. That's it. That's a 3. I'm willing to talk to you, and I am a homeowner. That's basically what you get. And then last but not least, how many salespeople can any of you watching this video think of that have had any time in recent memory some headwinds inside the real estate space? The last time there was headwinds that prevented people from making decisions that affirm buying or selling a home was 2007 through 2009. And before that, we had a 15-year-old golden era in real estate that maxed out with the real estate collapse. Most of you weren't in the industry when that happened. There's only a small handful of you that are watching this video that have been in real estate that long and remember the days in which even if you got the deal, you might not be able to get it funded, which is crazy talk, right? With somebody with great credit. It's crazy talk, but banks weren't financing real estate deals in 2007 through 2009. You had to pay in cash, basically. So when you're saying, I don't have the toolkit, it's like, well, if we go back 20 years, interest rates back in the 80s was 13%. People were buying homes left and right. Okay, it's still the greatest investment that most people will make. But you take a little bit of headwinds, like this isn't the perfect market based on what the market has been for the last 10 years, and you hand that off to a salesperson, that salesperson has to be able to convince somebody to get off the bench and buy or sell right now in this market, right at the market that we've got at the moment. And there's reasons why you might be able to convince somebody to do that. That's what I mean when I say salespeople don't have the toolkit. If you cannot do that, then you're really not actually qualified to own a website CRM combo right now. There's no system out there that's going to probably generate you a lead that in any kind of quantity that is above a 1 through 3 on the scale that I just gave you. So the reason that your website CRM combo isn't working is there's many layers to it. But I promise you, all these people watching this video right now, like, call me out if you think I'm wrong. How many of you have these website CRM combos that you think are working? How many of you driving a few $1,000s worth of paid advertising into them, generating 100 so-so leads, and then have the skills to and the discipline to go through all 100 of those, call them, figure out the 3 or 4 that might be okay, and then take the 3 or 4 through, like, over the finish line? You exist. There are sales, like real, true, honest to God, roll up our sleeves kind of salespeople, like the blue collar salespeople. They exist. There are people that have honed their skills for 10, 20 years like I have and understand how to do objection and question answering, things like that. But I'm an inbound marketer for a reason. It is a lot of work and a lot of effort to get down to 3 or 4 reasonably good leads. So for most people, even if they had the skills like me, they may not want to do this. So I have to ask you the question. Actually, you know what? Leave me some notes down in the comments. Respond to me this way. Do you have something that's working for you? If so, what is working about it? And do you have something that isn't working for you? And last but not least, are you actually trying to use it to any degree of efficiency? In other words, are you driving traffic? Are you like getting leads, calling leads, texting leads, like focused on lead response times, any of that? All right, and if the answer is yes, and I happen to be wrong, I'll eat my hat and say so in the comments. I've been Robert Newman. I'm the founder of InboundREM. If you want to learn more about me or what we do at my company, go to inboundrem.com and check out our services and about page. Thanks.